It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
He's alive.
He made it.
The
Made it
Rhino.
Back.
New knee, who dis?
Listen, Mackey, I didn't tell you this. This is hilarious. I totally can't believe I didn't tell you this. I told Jay, I go in to have the surgery. I am shitting bullets. Shout out to Dana for going with me because I was like really nervous and I thought she was just gonna do the old drop off and like see ya. And she was like, "No, I'll hold your hand for a little bit." So I was like, "Wow,
See ya.
Tuck and roll, bitch.
she loves me, right?" So I mean, I'm sitting there and she's like, "Calm down, you're fine." We get to the back room and they're like, "Hey, put this gown on." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." I put the gown on. I come back and she's like, "Well, let's just see how it fits." And she's checking it and they must have been putting something into the IV by then because
Is it this gown right here?
yes, that gown, toe point. That was my toe point. Amazing.
Look at this guy right here.
I'm all
He's ready
about
to
it.
go.
I was all
ready
about
to
it, right? I sit down and they're like, the anesthesiologist comes in. He's like, "I hear you're a little nervous." I'm like, "Just a little bit, dude. Chill, just, guy's being super funny with me." Next thing I know, he's like, "We're gonna give you a little something, take the wear off. You'll be cool." Next thing I know, they're like, "Hey, honey, it's time to stand up. Surgery went really, really well. It's time to stand up." I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And they were like, "Yeah, we got you." I was like, "Dude, you got me good." Like, I don't remember any. After that toe point, they could have been fondling me. I don't know what was going on. Dude,
We have some video of that.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
don't
say,
worry,
you
that's
left my
going-
wife back there. Something for sure was going
we
on.
definitely- that's in the archives.
the Robert Kraft Orthopedic
Hey,
Center. Yeah.
Shout out to
Little
TCO
happy
and
ending.
the XL Center. And Sarah, Brenda, Nicole, Rachel, everybody that took care of me
Rachel.
afterwards. They were phenomenal. They were awesome. It was you. I'll tell you what, dude. Going to practice yesterday was a bad idea. It was a
Dude,
really...
you're not even a week out, and you're like, "Oh, I called him yesterday, and I was like, what are you up to?" And he's like, "Oh, me and Johnny tried to stain the deck." I was like, "Are you dumb?" I was like, "You have to be dumb, dude. Like, you're out there trying to stain your deck." He's like, "A football practice night." I was like, "You need to lay down. Just lay down. Like, just take a week and just
Can't.
lay down."
Can't sit
Called me
still.
yesterday at like 6 a.m. I'm bored. I was like, I don't care, dude. I'm busy.
So bored.
He's like, "I'm bored. You want to do something?" I was like, "What? You want to sit here and chat? Like, what are you
did.
doing?" He's in a hat, just foot up on the couch. I was like, "Go to bed."
Felt like Harbaugh for a minute with my flat brim. I was sitting there just like, I'm so bored. What do I do?
Yeah, bored's a good thing, though.
What happens if you push it too much?
Swells.
Let me tell you what happens.
It swells.
It gets worse. Yeah.
Can we
it's
get a
not-
Can we get a pic? Can we see it?
You know what? I will have the kids take a picture
I want to see it.
later. It's all blue.
We need
right
a
now.
before and after too, because the before.
Oh, dude, the before compared to the after. No, like, I'm the one looking at it, and there's several times that I'll miss a step, and I'll be like, because I think that my leg's supposed to be wider than it is, and I'm like, dude, what is wrong? And they're like, it's gonna take you a minute, dude. And I'm not kidding you. I'm taller. I am so much stronger on my legs. Like, I feel a lot better base, and my glute is on fire. Like, it is.
you're
finally
using it again.
dude. For years, Chuck and I were like, why is this one glute not working? And here it's because my entire leg was shifted out. And so, like, now my ass is on fire all day. And I don't even do anything. Like, I feel like I'm working out without doing anything. It's amazing. But it just sucks sitting here.
How's
I'm
the
like,
calf?
Oh, it's so swollen. So, like, everything from the knee down is numb still because it's so swollen. And I was like, is this normal? And they're like, sure.
If you go stand at football practice for 3 hours, yeah,
Fucking
probably.
idiot. But I'll tell you what, we got our whole offense installed. We have a scrimmage this weekend. We have our jamboree.
Is this 13-year-olds? 13-year-old football league here?
You better believe it. We are
Defending champions from the
Eden
12-year-old
Prairie,
league?
7th grade. We are excited. Schedule comes out tomorrow. We're ready to roll. Our boys, the team saw me walking in, and they were like, we're fucked. If this dude's walking in on one leg, I can't imagine what he's going to make us
Yeah,
do.
what's your excuse, Bobby?
Dude, exactly. And that's why, first thing I
Channing.
said is I pulled the old Ferguson, Jeff Ferguson from San Francisco. Don't tell me about the pain, just deliver the baby, okay? Like, that's what he used to say on game day. He'd be like, Ferg, it hurts. He'd be like, you know what I told my wife when she was having our babies? I told her, honey, don't tell me about the pain, just show me the baby. I was like, oh my God, you're such a dick. So I told him, don't tell me about the pain, just show me the baby. And I swear to God, those kids, they must have been on their P's and Q's because we only had one bad thing that made me make them run, and I was in a very short-tempered mood anyways. So when I go in short-tempered, you should expect 6 laps around the field, right? Like, I'm here to condition you today. I was looking for things, and I was like, God, they look really fucking good. God. Can't punish you for that, can I? Dude, at one point, it was one kid versus 11, and I was like, if he gets through, you're all screwed. This kid just truck sticked everybody. Because he knew, because I was like, if you don't get through, you're screwed. He was like, I got it. Boom. It was all. We had a day, but I'm hurting today. I'm hurting today, boys.
Man,
You're not even.
What a
week
grinder,
out of
man.
Surgery, dude.
Love it.
Don't
Hey,
be.
I always wanted to be the Gruden grinder. I feel like I've earned it this week.
So people, by the way, the YouTube comment section all week is wondering. It was like a cliffhanger of a TV show or something. Like, is he alive?
I was a little
Did he
worried.
make it? Because you're not on Twitter, so people don't really they don't know from week to week sometimes. But he's alive. We are here to tell you, don't push it. We don't need another knee surgery or like an amputation.
No, and it was
calm
great too,
down.
because when Bjerke came in, shout out to Dr. Bjerke too for being the best. Comes in, he sits down, he's like, well, we got to talk a little bit. I'm like, what's up? He's like, surgery was a little bit longer than expected. It was a lot rougher than we thought. He's like, we broke off some good chunks. I was like, oh, that's always positive. He's like,
That's
yeah,
reassuring.
he's like, the implant was too small, so we scoured the entire hospital looking for the biggest implant we had. I was like, well, thank God you found it. Like, what would you have done if you didn't have one? He's like, we didn't really get to that point, so I don't know. It's like, what a doctor answer.
Start welding the two together. Right? Like
Put a different
call-
body part in there.
Call
an
a welder
elbow.
in there and start
Are
being like,
you
we can
sure you
combine
put the
the
right one
elbow. Yeah, there's a shoulder one over there. Bring it over here.
We have
need
a
spare
wrist
parts.
joint.
Hey, I'll tell you what. And for those that have had it, they know this. The clicking and the popping, it is so hard to get over, man. It's your own body, and you're like, stop, please, just smooth, get through this. And it's not. It's going to be okay, though, because we're going to talk football today, and I am fucking excited.
Yes, dude. We have a show. We got some film breakdowns this week on the YouTube channel that you're going to see with these new quarterbacks. So we'll get to Mike's. We'll get to dumb football questions. But I have one potential hot take for the "Is This a Hot Take" segment, and it's I'll just give it to you this way: Is this a hot take? After 1 week of preseason games, I can tell you which of the first round quarterbacks are busts and which ones are going to be hits.
That's a bad take.
That's definitely a bad fucking take, but
bad
I'm
hot
all
take.
ears. I am all ears
I'm
because
ready
I
to
am.
hear
Hey,
it. Yeah, I'm
I
ready
wanna
to hear it. That's
know.
a bad take.
I'm just gonna let you know I'm excited to hear this because I have mine out here too.
By the way, R.I.P. to JJ McCarthy's chances of starting week 1,
Hey.
which I believe
Hey.
is a win in
Chill.
the steak and a beer category.
Chill. Listen.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's check the steak and a beer bet
Whoa.
whiteboard here.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Nothing
Alex-
has been confirmed. You guys can talk.
He's
all you
having
want.
surgery.
He's having surgery.
Could be
Yeah.
a quick back in 2
He's their
days.
franchise quarterback. I'd be willing to put money they're going to repair it. And you know what that
Yeah.
means? You
6 to
repair
9
it.
months, right?
6 to 9 months.
Hey Doc, you let me know when you show me that degree. We'll talk. Okay?
He's probably
Both of
seeing
you.
Bjerke. He's
Just-
probably seeing the
Hey,
doctor that
Bjerke, you better not
impersonating a
fuck me on
doctor.
this.
Yeah, Bjerke,
So-
you're picking up the bill.
Bjerke, you're in on this.
So yeah, Booney, you have on the steak and a beer bet whiteboard here. McCarthy starts week 1. That one's on life support right now.
It really is on its last leg, dude. It's on its last leg.
So we're gonna go off his first preseason game performance.
You and JJ can do your rehab together. Just a couple of boys over there, just doing some grinder rehab.
We will be.
All right,
great.
Mackie,
Okay.
let's hear
All
this.
right.
Let's hear it.
Okay, in no particular order here, and we can have conversations about all these guys here. It'd be a good time to recap. But I will tell you whether this person's going to be a bust or a hit in their career off one preseason game. Okay, Caleb Williams. Let's start with him. He's a hit. I've been a little skeptical, crying in your parents' arms after a college game, and just some of the look at me stuff, magazine covers, quirky personality, but dude, dynamic athlete. Some of the, and it was what, a couple series or whatever it was, but
2.
throwing on the run, that nice little flip on that screen pass, using his legs on a couple of plays. I even kind of like that story from last week where he gathers all the veterans at practice and says, hey, we're too messy around here. We got to clean up the locker room here. He got ripped for that by a couple players, but you know what? I kind of like that. That's leadership right there. Let's clean up the locker room a little bit. Arm strength, athleticism, and a tidy locker room. Caleb Williams, he's a hit.
I would tend, I mean, based off what I saw, I mean, we all been saying it for months now. If he can't drive that car, like, he's never going to make it. I mean, he's got the weapons. The Bears built a team around him. He's got plenty of opportunities, and then his ability to create on the run. We saw it at Oklahoma. We saw it at USC. I mean, as much as we want to bag on him for some of the off-the-field stuff, he was the number 1 pick for a reason. right? He's an extreme talent. Right, I hate using the word generational talent because I think it gets thrown around way too much. Like we've had like 20 generational talents.
And what is a generation? It's
right, we've had like 20 generational talents in the last 3 years. I feel like so. Like I hate using that, but I do think he was probably the best in show in this year's class. And based off of a couple series, he definitely went out there and showed what he can do.
I have him also in my win column for this week, and here's why. Number one, you're the number one overall pick. That's a lot of pressure. And to come out and kind of play free and loose the way he was, kind of just running around, it made it look very effortless, right? Like super chill, throws a dime to Cole Kmet 20 yards down the field. Like all these things go into me going, okay, this dude knows he's the number one pick and he doesn't give a shit. He's just out here having fun. He looks like he's going to be great here. I actually ranked him third out of this week.
Okay.
And I will say this. I'm not saying that he did, like, I just think that for being the first pick in the draft, you came out and looked great, dude. Like, I wasn't at all like, God, that's a fucking overpick or whatever. I was like, wow, finally, Jay's going to owe me a steak and a beer because the Bears are making it into the playoffs.
I will say it was a drastically, if you want to compare last year.
And I made this bet before I saw anything. I just want all of you to know this.
Sure. I mean, you talk about the conversation we had last year about Bryce Young's first performance in Carolina versus Caleb Williams' first performance in Chicago. It's a night and day different conversation.
Agreed.
Right? From the get, everyone was kind of like last year with Bryce Young, like, oh man, they may have made a mistake. Right? Like there's no one in Chicago right now that is regretting the fact that they took Caleb Williams at the first overall pick.
And honestly, there was a play, and I don't know if anyone remembers this, but he almost threw a pick. The fact that he just came back still the next play and was like, don't give a shit. I'm just going to keep fucking being me.
Well, that's been his personality, though. He did that at USC. He'd
but
throw
this
8
is a whole
dude.
Like, but you and I both know at USC we could all be idiots and be like, whatever. This college. When you're in the NFL and you almost throw a pick, instantly everyone's looking at you like, hey, buddy, that was like the second throw of your career. What are we doing, right? But then all of a sudden he's getting all these guys barreling around him, and he does this no look sidey side thing. Like I like that, dude. That's the next wave. That's the next bound quarterback, and that's what makes me excited about him. Is because I'm like, dude, this dude's taken his game from college and translated it right into the NFL system. The team seems to like him. I will say this, though. It's going to be cognizant on their offensive line. Can they keep him healthy? Listen, you're not going to just go out and pistol whip everybody. Someone's going to hit you in the mouth. And those are the games, and that's when everyone's really going to be looking at you like, what do you do? Right? Like preseason, we're all like, hey, do you come out? Do you check all the boxes? It's like the kid, like what we tell our kids when we recruit them. Do you check the boxes? Oh, yeah, the motherfucker looks good. First pick? Oh, yeah, for sure first pick, right? Like, I like this. Now let's go into a real season. Let's see what happens when you get sacked a couple times. Let's see what happens when your offense crumbles underneath you. That's why we obviously think this is a silly thing that we're doing, but off of this week that we've watched, I think that
I'm dead serious with this exercise.
Get the fuck out of here, Mackie. You're an idiot. This is an awesome win for the Bears. Just because think of how many years they've gone through struggle, and you're like, finally, they're looking at something going, whoa,
we'll see.
Whoa,
it's there. But it's
you've hit on the
shout out Chicago, baby.
One last thing on this. The bar to clear, it's if you just want to put Bears quarterback in a vacuum for what does it look like for a Bears quarterback to be a hit? The bar is as low as any organization.
The bar is Jay Cutler.
Lower.
The bar is Jay Cutler. Are you going to be better than Jay Cutler?
Who's more popular for his life than he is his career?
Dude, the bar for being the best quarterback in franchise history is Jay Cutler.
Right.
We're not kidding.
Just be better than smoking Jay Cutler, and you'll be okay, right? Don't be ripping lung darts. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, the bar for like a good yardage season now is 4,000 yards, and there's been a bunch of headlines about how no Bears quarterback has ever thrown for 4,000 yards. I'll take it a step further. So this franchise was founded 2 years after World War I, and they've only had 6 quarterbacks throw for 3,000 yards in a season. So
something's going really wrong here, guys. I think we found, though, and that's why this is like, wow, this could really be the answer to everyone's problems. And yeah, we all bagged on him for the shit that he did because rightfully so. You get bagged on for shit like that.
And I will continue to bag on him.
Absolutely. We're not going to stop. We're fucking players. But at the same time, when you go out and produce like that, being the number one pick overall, like your first time in action, it just looked really smooth, and it looked like he was having a lot of fun. To me, that translates to guys in the O-line going, we're going to fucking kill everybody. Like, if this dude just keeps smiling and having fun, we're going to be A-okay. Let's just keep him upright the whole year.
All right, next quarterback. Again, I am, after one preseason game,
here we
I'm
go.
telling you which of these careers
the
are
next
going
20
to be
years
hits or
is
bust,
dictated
okay? Yes.
on 4 passes. Here we go.
Jayden Daniels.
Ooh,
we will do a film breakdown of Jayden Daniels this week. I think it's a hit. I think it's a hit, but he looks a little small in NFL competition, just a little slight. Reminds me a little bit. I mean,
He looks like
RG3.
He looks like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
Lamar is slight,
Yeah.
yep. But Lamar for what, 6 years, 5 years now, just somehow doesn't take huge hits. He just finds his way.
Very
Jayden got
elusive, man.
killed in
Jayden
college.
takes hits.
Yeah.
He got killed a few
He
times.
got
in college.
murdered a couple times. Boy,
But
we watched that.
He had that big time deep pass on the first drive, the read
Damani
option
Brown,
game.
dude, did you see that?
That ball was so pretty.
Hey, that's what put him in the dub column for me. I agree with you, Mac, 100% on this.
But there's some refinement. He's certainly not
Oh, yeah.
the complete player that Caleb Williams is. But I would say this in terms of infrastructure, because it's not just the quarterback in a vacuum. It's the quarterback with the coach and the system and the organization. We make fun of Washington, but Washington, new ownership, new head coach who's been to the Super Bowl. They've got some weapons. I mean, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and even like Austin Eckler on third down as a blanket that can.
I'm not against that
catch some
either.
passes.
I agree with that. Dude.
And he's
takes
the
a
kinda
lot off
guy-
the quarterback.
He's the kind of guy that's going to make defensive linemen think twice about how they rush.
Correct.
Right.
Is
That's
it
a big. That's a
screen?
big piece of this. I mean, if you're Drake Maye, right, or if you're Aaron Rodgers, or like more of these non-elite athlete quarterbacks, right? You're talking about, hey, you better stay in your rush lane, because if you let the field open, this dude's going to take it for 30 every single time. Right, so he's definitely going to bring another level of that, where if you do get them in third down, it's not just going to be a pin your ears back and run around the quarterback as fast as you can. It's going to slow things down for those D linemen up front.
Yeah, Mac, I'm definitely with you on this one. I just wanted to see a little bit more from him. And that's the
I would
one
like
thing
to see one more series. I would like
that's
to
the
see one more
dude,
series.
You can't just put a rookie out there for one series and be like, you're good, bud. Dude, you're not good. Like, it's
But it's also a risk, though. If you know he's going to be your starter, you kind of have to treat him like your starter, even though he's a rookie, which is what the Patriots did with Drake Maye too. It's like,
we'll
hey,
get to him. Don't worry. We're going to get to him.
Like, we know you're going to be our week one starter, and so we can't like risk getting you hurt right now.
We don't actually
But
play
we
too much
also
football.
need you to play football. It's a conundrum that every head coach is going to have a different philosophy on.
I agree. I will listen. I'm not the head coach. I don't make that decision. But at the same time, I think it's a huge win. That was a dime that he threw to Brown. I think watching him run the ball, just like in college, like he looks very flawless. That it's seamless. Like, I'm going to step in here, just like Jay said. I'm going to be this dual threat guy. As much as you think you're going to enclose me, I'm going to get out somehow. You're going to have to really work on keeping me in here. And at the same time, if I do start to run, that's going to be an even bigger issue, because now we got guys screaming down the field deep. Like, all these things become really fun. And like you said, Mac, for Washington, the whole new like kind of revamp, like the whole new name, the whole new ownership, the whole new head coach. Now you got your quarterback. I'm really excited about these guys. They are in a tough division, but I will say this, and I'm not trying to get off topic here. Jerry Jones making this thing a bigger issue than it is was fucking stupid. Coming in and going, this isn't a big deal, dude. It's the biggest deal, and I don't know if
CeeDee
you
Lamb
know your
tweeting
fucking
LOL,
dude. And now he's kind of
And then
like,
Micah
it's not a
Parsons
big
retweeting the
Retweeting
LOL.
dude, and now you're starting to walk yourself into the situation where it's like, if the Giants don't do well, you're really only facing one fucking contender every year, and that's going to be a fun thing for a team like this that is young and rebranding itself and trying to re-show the world, hey, listen, this is who we are. We have a new coach. It takes shit serious. Our owner will go out and do whatever it is, because you heard what's his name, the head coach for the Patriots,
Jared Mayo.
Gerard Mayo saying, once we build this winning culture, people will want to come here, right? It's the same thing Washington's doing. They're trying to build this winning culture to get people to go out. This place is sweet. They're hot and new. Let's try and get here now.
Yeah. Okay, Bo Nix.
Ooh.
Bo Nix after one preseason game.
I'm excited to see what you say, because I'm going to have a big rebuttal.
Oh, or maybe you'll agree.
I hope I agree.
His career will be a bust.
You're an idiot. Oh, my. Dude.
All right, let me lay out my case.
All right,
Let me lay out
Alex.
my case.
No, yeah,
Let
Mackie,
me
State
give you a
your
couple
opening arguments.
So
All
a couple
right,
things.
Kangaroo
here.
court.
The knock on him in college was he was a check down, short yardage merchant who was either unable to or afraid to work intermediate and down the field. It was a schemed up offense. I think he had one of the lowest average depth of targets. You compare that to like what McCarthy was asked to do in college. A lot of short, rinky dink, just behind the line of scrimmage stuff. And sure enough, in his first preseason game, he was like 13 of 14 on passes at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, or 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. He was 2 for 7 on throws that traveled 9 yards or more in the air. And the QB school on YouTube, J.T. O'Sullivan, former NFL backup quarterback, He's got a gigantic quarterback film review YouTube channel. He tweeted out yesterday, if you love quick outs, checkdowns, and throwing off platform when you could set your feet, you're going to love Bo Nix. He proved, again, it's one preseason game, but he proved everything that he was criticized for in college in that first preseason game. Bust.
I'm in your court, Mac. So
Are you serious? Did you watch that game? How many balls got dropped? How about the touchdown that didn't get caught because it went right through his hands? I think the exact opposite. Here I'm looking at a guy that I already don't like in the situation that I agree with you guys. You come from a scheme offense. Show me how good you are. And then I'm watching him dance around the pocket, extending the plays, and I go, oh, wait, all these people forget that this O-line is not that good. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, now let me see what the fuck you do. Now he's really running around and creating plays. Dude, I watched, 4 or 5 drops happen in that game at the same time, and he came back and won the game for him. Dude, I think this is one of the things that when you look at this, you're like, dude, this young kid came in probably in the hardest situation.
He's 26 years old.
You know exactly what I'm saying.
he's
where everyone's looking at him saying exactly this scheme. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, he's only throwing these balls. And it's like, I can't help that this is the play call. Do you want me to come out here and change it? I could do it if you wanted me to, but I'm not going to. I hit the receiver that was open.
Where I might agree here, and if you let this play out.
And time out.
Sean Payton needs a short, accurate, like that's his scheme, right?
Yeah. Well, no, Sean's normally, we're going. You got to think old Drew Brees. When I
feel like Drew Brees was a lot of intermediate, like paper cut you to death, and then over the top twice a game.
Intermediate
he was
to him
more
was
underneath.
like 25. No, dude, I remember plays that were
you're on too many drugs.
Listen,
all that blood's going to your brain.
I'll text Drew right now and he'll be like, no, the whole point was to get downfield.
Drew.
Go. No, but here too.
Drew, do you think Bo Nix is a bust?
Here's another reason why, and I totally skipped over this. That interception wasn't even on him. Did you see that ball hit P. Ryan square in the fucking chest? That's another thing though. People are going to look at that stat and go, well, it's an interception. I go, if it was a spear, it would have killed him, and he bobbled it 4 times. What the fuck are you going to put on this kid? Like, if I'm watching the real tape, I'm looking at this going, wow, this kid's actually pretty good. He can move around the pocket. It's not my fault your receivers are dropping the ball. I can't control that. You can't control that. I see you throwing it right at their face mask. You're talking to the one guy who hates these quarterbacks that come in and then people are like, it's going to be so good. And I'm like, which way he's going to fail? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, God, now I'm eating my own words. I am. I'm eating my own words with this. And I'm telling you, Bo Nix, I am excited for the Broncos this year. Say what you want. I am excited about them. I actually had him as my number 1 quarterback coming out of this weekend for the rookies.
Sean Payton, worst season of his career, 7 wins. Yep. So he finds ways. Jay, jump in here, and then we'll get to the next.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't see franchise quarterback out of him again. 1 preseason game.
Nobody said franchise
quarterback.
We're saying, I'm just saying I'm excited.
This is the
You're
segment.
saying he's a franchise
This
or
is
bust?
the segment. Boom or bust, right? This is the segment.
Well, then I guess I'm all in. Booming. It's booming. You're booming. Yeah, let's go. You're how about this? You're better than the $50 million quarterback that they're not paying to be there. Boom.
Yeah, what is the bar? Like, you're better than 2023 Russell Wilson.
There you go. I said it.
He'll have
better stats. He'll have better stats than Russell Wilson last year.
I mean, that's not hard to do.
I mean, Russell Wilson's counting stats were pretty. Let's pull that up.
I'll do steak and a beer bet with that.
Oh, here we go.
I'll roll steak and a beer.
So you're saying rookie season or
injury
his career
knocks
peak?
me out of my own steak and a beer bet? That should be like a draw.
Okay, Russell Wilson, 15 games, only 3,070 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Bears have only done that 6 times.
Pass rate.
That's nothing.
I know, it's crazy.
You're saying so. I will take the steak and beer bet.
Go.
Bo Nix does not have that kind of season.
Let's go right now.
Ever or rookie?
And I'm making you take me in Denver. You're taking me in your home city. Your home fucking city.
He will not have that kind of a career year.
Boom.
Okay, so Bo Nix,
3,100 yards.
Than Russell Wilson.
15 touchdowns, 16 touchdowns. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm not scared.
Let's get to the next quarterback here.
All right.
Sean Payton, you better bail me the fuck out of this one.
JJ McCarthy. Obviously going to miss some time here. Going to slow cook this thing with.
I'm excited for this one
meniscus injury. Major hit. His career will be a major hit. For the purposes of this segment, he'll be a hit, and we can define what major is. So he had that awful interception, and I'm curious to see you guys break it down. Also, in fairness, the sixth string wide receiver who had a good game, Tristan Jackson, awful route too, didn't cut it off, but don't make the throw. It's a bad throw. Shakes it off. I had a list of big boy NFL throws. That's a new stat category. I just made it up. Big boy NFL throws. I counted like 7 where it's deep outs or it's linebacker bearing down and you got to eat the hit and make a throw on the button. So he has an NFL arm, at least as evidenced in practice and the first preseason game. He stands in against pressure. Off the field, a lot of stuff has been written about his maturity, his leadership. I've seen it in person at practice. He has like secret handshakes with 7th round defensive tackle guy. Like he's that kind of a connector. And he basically hasn't played with Justin Jefferson yet. He's thrown, I think, 2 passes to Justin Jefferson the entire training camp and preseason because he's working with the 2. So JJ McCarthy, he's going to be a hit.
I may have to eat my words on this one.
I knew it.
I have never been a JJ fan. I've never, from when he left Michigan, I've died on this hill. But he went out and proved me wrong. And I'll be the first to admit it. He went out there and he did some stuff that I didn't know he was fully capable of doing. Right? I was anticipating, here we go. It's going to be hesitant in the pocket, holding on to the football too long, just used to those deep play action, deep drops, right? And he was standing in there, delivering with authority. He made good decisions after the pick, right? And that he could bounce back from a pick like Alex was talking about earlier. Like that could have been a moment where it was like, oh gosh, here we go. And he just tanks, right? But I mean, from what I saw from one preseason game, for this purposes of this segment, I'd say he'd be a boom, but we'll see. I mean, I think that this, Mackey, you and I were talking about before the show started, like this could be a blessing in disguise of, hey, now we don't have to worry about this quarterback controversy for week 1. It doesn't have to be a distraction. Is it JJ? Is it Sam? Right? Like all these things. Now it's like, hey, get healthy. Are we going to repair your meniscus, which is going to be 6 to 9 months? Are we just going to shave it, which is going to be 4 to 6 weeks? Right? Like it buys us some time here to quiet that and allow Sam Darnold to go out there and do his thing, and then maybe see if JJ takes over at beginning of year 2, right? But I agree. He played phenomenally. I have nothing besides the pick. I have nothing bad to say about JJ McCarthy.
I thought Jay was going to be petty. I
wasn't.
Oh, no.
I thought he was
Dude, you can't walk into the situation
watch that.
petty.
You can't watch that and be like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, you can't do that. He played phenomenally.
Bro, I had him number 2 this week after Bo, and phenomenal. And here's what I want you to think about, because there was a steak and a beer on this. That performance alone would have given me the right, after assuming he's not going to play the next 2 weeks, to be like, yeah, that dude's definitely going to be the week 1 starter. We're definitely going into week 1 with that guy. Why? Because we fucking picked him first, and he's good enough to go. So you have to admit he would have been the week. Dude, he is so much the fuck out of here. Oh,
I still don't think he would have been week 1 starter.
Oh, my God. You're a
I think if he did it 2 more times, I think if he went out there and did it 2 more times.
If you're thinking too much, then you're with me, because then you're like, you're right. Why would we pick him first this year if we're not going to?
Because you're paying Sam Darnold $10 million
and
I think that KOC knows.
$10 million. That's what it costs to be ready.
Kwesi knows.
I think Kwesi and KOC right now, if you would have asked them, and I'm not saying anything because I'm not assuming that he's going down. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they go in there and they go, hey, bud, just a little extra inflammation. I know about that. I just put it up. You're good. Until it's happened, until I see it happen. I read a lot of things, but everything's fake these days. That's why I don't believe it. I'm probably the only one that's winning still.
AI put it out there.
There's a lot of shit. There's been shit on here that we've reported that we're like, wait, that was not even real. No, believe me. Until I see it, I'm telling you right now, that dude would have been the week 1 starter.
Hey, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day.
I'm just saying.
But listen,
probably gets me my steak and a beer.
I'm not going to be petty. I'm not going to be petty. And listen, even Collier, who I do Purple Insider with him all year. We talked about McCarthy. I've been a bagger. He texted me right away after the game. He goes, stick to O-line takes. JJ's a stallion. And I was like, that's fair. I was like, that is fair, dude. I can't. I have nothing bad to say about.
Is he really going to be down with a fucking meniscus? Come on, dude.
Dude, but that's your franchise guy. That's your baby. And you have Sam Darnold. If this was the Broncos, right, and you don't have a Sam Darnold there, right? You don't have a guy that you feel like could walk into week 1, then you're probably going, hey, bud, we just need you to shave this up and fix this and be ready to go for September, right? But the Vikings have a little bit of a luxury in the fact that they do have Sam Darnold and they don't have to rush this guy back and potentially risk long-term effects on his knee, a la the guy that just got replaced at 37, and actually take care and get him back for year 2 or middle of the year, work him back and see how things are going and progressing from there.
One more thought on this real quick, and we're going to do it. We'll do a film breakdown. So be on the lookout.
We didn't do a Drake
channel.
Maye one.
We'll do one eventually. They got more.
Eventually. He only threw the ball 3 times.
Yeah. By the way, good segue. Well, I'll do the Drake Maye thing in a second. I think this could be a good thing for the Vikings and JJ McCarthy. My last question on this for you is, how much value is there? He's not going to get the reps, so like he's missing out on a bunch of preseason reps and joint practice reps the next few weeks. How much value is there in him, even if he's not practicing the whole season? Let's say he gets the long-term surgery, and just being around and going through the preparation and film room and all that stuff. Or is it a waste of a year if he's out and can't practice?
No, it's not a waste by any means, because you'll get to go through the rhythm and the flow of what an NFL season is. I mean, when you're talking about rookies that play, and again, I've had 2 rookies now that have played throughout their entire rookie year, like started, they're swimming. They're trying to understand, what does a week-to-week basis look like? What does the film study look like? And I'm preparing, I'm playing, I'm beat up, I'm hurt. Holy shit, there's 18 weeks, right? Like, it's a lot to do as a rookie, and it's hard to do. But it's not a waste of a year if you don't play, right? If you're still there and you're in the meeting rooms and you're going through the game plans and you're preparing like you're a starter, right? And I think that's going to be the big piece of it, is what kind of mindset, if he is out for the year, how does he approach this year? Does he approach it of, hey, I was going to be the week 1 starter, right? I listened to the O-line committee. I was going to get Alex Boone that steak and a beer. I was going to be the week 1 starter. I'm going to prepare every single week from a mental standpoint like I am the starter. Then by that means, no chance it's a waste of a year. Does it suck he's not going to get the physical talents and physical reps with it? Yeah, that's going to be really hard. But I still think he can get a lot out of this year sitting.
Drake Maye.
Hard to say.
3 dropbacks.
It's hard to say.
Again,
me and Mackey are going to agree on this. We're going to agree on this.
Definitively projecting their career off the first preseason game.
I am too on this one. Yeah.
He's a bust.
Dude, it's 3 dropbacks.
Bust. You know why? Because your fucking organization is a bust. Massive bust. I am so sorry. I'm so sick of this shit. You guys are driving me nuts. You're the fucking Patriots. You're supposed to walk in and be like, we do shit the way we fucking do it. We're going to drop back every play, but instead they're like, we're going to hand it here. We're going to hand it here. You know what? You've done enough. Come over here. Zeppy, you've been here for 12 years. Go show us what you can do. What the fuck are we doing? Are you fucking serious? Dude, this dude's whole career is going to go just because the coaches don't know what they're doing. And they're bringing it. We have a competition for number 3 in a live fucking game. Are you serious? For number 3, this is even a real thing, dude. I'm losing my mind. And I'm sorry, Jacoby Brissett. I love you to death, but
I'm telling you, it's when you're born into football poverty like this, and you have a rookie defensive head coach, and you have no explosive weapons. They tried to trade for Brandon Ayuk. They tried to give him $32 million a year, and
dude, they were like, "We'll pay you."
Nah, fam, I'm out.
Yeah.
Nah. Hey, Steelers, you take this? Will you do this? Will the Steelers do this?
Also, like, I would discredit the impatient fans and media and just the influence that Boston sports fans and media can have if you're not performing well right
Mayo's
away.
Mayo's out after 8 games. I'm calling it.
Wow. That's aggressive.
Oh, it's not aggressive at all. I'm telling you.
I mean, there is that issue going on with Judon now too, right? There's been the videos of them like arguing, very animated on the sideline, him walking away.
It's not aggressive.
I mean, there's a lot of turmoil going on in Boston right now.
And they don't put up with that shit. And I don't care what anyone says. Though I know those fans. I fucking meet them sometimes here in Minnesota. And they're like, yeah, we're from Boston. I'm like, oh my God, you must be a Tom Brady fan. Oh, of course we are. I'm like, oh my God. How many of those fucking people do you want banging on your door going, get rid of this motherfucker? Like, it's not going to take very long for Kraft to go.
Here's a question, though.
You're out.
Do you think it's fair, right? We talked about, hey, what bar does Caleb Williams have to hit? What bar does Jayden Daniels have to get, right, to be the guy? No one's going to ever reach that bar in New England. No. I don't care who you are, right? No. And so you're kind of walking into, he's going to be the next Tom Brady. It's like no one's going to be the next Tom Brady, right? Patrick Mahomes is the only one that may have a chance to win. How many wins? 7? 6? I don't even remember
7.
anymore.
6
right?
with the Patriots.
6 with the Patriots. So it's like Mahomes may be the only one that is on the trajectory to match that. And even then, it might not happen.
And JJ McCarthy.
Stop it.
Besides,
I will leave this room. Stop
I will
it.
leave as well if you ever say that again.
You
we don't
shut
talk
your
about
mouth.
rookies
Vikings
like that.
haven't won 1 Super Bowl. You're trying to say they're going to win 7. Shut up, Mackey.
Fuck out.
Anyways,
Oakland.
I'm just saying it's not fair for Drake Maye because of a couple things. One, everything we laid out. The organization's in trouble. Things we talked about during the draft. They have no weapons. They have no run game. They're just kind of in a complete turmoil as a franchise. But then also it's going to be the pressure of, well, why isn't he the next Tom Brady? You took him 3rd overall. Like, why we should have just taken the guy in the 6th, right? Like, Tom did it. Why can't we do it like Tom did it? Like, that's the pressure that kid's going to live with every single week, every single month, every single year of his career until he eventually flames out in New England and has to go start over like a Sam Darnold or anything like that. So it's just a tough position for him to be in. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to stamp that he's going to be a complete bust after watching 3 dropbacks.
So then the question is he good enough as an individual talent and leader to overcome everything you guys just talked about the last 5 minutes?
We don't know. I haven't seen enough. I think that if they would have left him out there for the entire first quarter and we could have seen how he bounced back from those things, how he managed those things, did he throw some guys open? Did he make some drop in the bucket throws? Those were the type of things where, okay, maybe, but I didn't see enough to be able to be like, maybe he's not talented enough, because he was super talented in North Carolina. I mean, he did some really, really special stuff in college.
But not to not be like, to be honest, if somebody's going to try and come up and compare Drake Maye to Tom Brady, that is the most unrealistic thing in the world.
That's what's going to happen.
But that's fine. Those aren't even we're not even entertaining those conversations. They're so stupid. And if someone's going to Robert Kraft going, well, what if we drafted the next Tom Brady? I'd be like, you're fucking fired. Are you dumb? Tom fucking retired.
I was talking about
don't
the fans.
you guys
I was talking
get?
about the fans. The same fans.
No, I
that you
know.
were
It's the
saying are
same
gonna beat
thing.
down
I'm
that
not
door.
mad about that. Like, if a fan came to me and was like, we drafted, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Now, if you want to come to me because we're not winning games now because we don't have an explosive offense or we don't know what the fuck we're doing or we don't know how to draft, you can come at me, and that's how I'm coming at them. I'm telling you, you're a poorly run organization. I'm not saying I'm mad because you didn't get the next fucking Tom Brady. Tom's gone, guys. Get over it. Find the next fucking guy that wants to step in there. My whole problem is you did shit in fucking free agency. You've done shit all around all the draft. Like, this entire thing, you're telling me there wasn't better guys to go out there and be like, hey, we need to start looking around and seeing what makes fucking teams great. It's the guys that can push us all the way this way and spread us all the way this way. Let's go find 1 million of those guys. Find me 1 million guys that know how to run a 4.2 fucking 40 and can take the ball any which way.
They could have traded back, by the way. They could have traded back.
You could have done 1 million things. My whole point is you didn't. Exactly. You didn't. And that's why I'm looking at this going, no, I have a valid point. I'm not the guy in the back going, I thought we drafted Tom. Where's Tom?
So to that point, and I one more here and we'll get to our mics. I hate it when teams draft a quarterback to save their franchise. It almost never works. No. Peyton Manning saved the Colts. You could, like, where it's a garbage organization. And it's funny because the Patriots were the model organization for 20 years, but once Brady's gone, Belichick's gone, no skill position players, they are now a garbage organization. They just have been the last 5 years. When you draft a quarterback to save it and to rise above it, I think Boone's leg might be caving in.
Might be amputating.
It just, I don't know, it reeks of desperation to me. Is Drake Maye, as a leader, as a player, able to overcome all that? I don't know. It's less to do with his first preseason game and more to do with just the circumstances. So, and then Michael Penix. I think it's a hit.
I do too. He looked great. He looked phenomenal. I mean, but he did everything. Here's the thing. I felt out of all the quarterbacks, he just picked right back up where he left off. Right, with Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams and Drake Maye, there were some question marks about, like, how does this translate? But, like, when I was watching Michael Penix play, I felt like I was watching back when he was shredding Texas. Right, like back in Washington, the hefty lefty, just shredding it, throwing it around, dropping dimes. The velocity he throws the football with is nuts. Like, when that ball comes off his hand, it is zipping. And I love it. I mean, and he's in a situation where he knows he ain't going to play, so he's out there just letting it rip, right? He's got nothing. The pressure on him is zero, right? He's got zero pressure on him because he's like, hey, I ain't starting week 1. They got Kirk over here, right? Like, I'm just going to go out here and do my thing and do everything to the best of my ability. And so I think he went out, played free. He looked phenomenal in his debut.
maturity, leadership. I like that he's just hunting for big plays down the field. I think it's funny because he's sort of the opposite of Bo Nix in that, okay, Bo, we know you can throw a 5-yard quick out. That's great. With Penix, it's like he is hunting down the field for big plays on a regular basis.
That dude's playing 500 on every snap.
Dude, he looked. I totally missed this question, but walking into this Penix, I feel bad.
Penix is a hit.
I feel bad for him. He looked awesome, and now you're stuck at number 2, no matter what. Like,
how long do you think, though?
I'm telling you, we talked about this earlier, and I think I said that the minute this kid gets out there, this team's going to start turning around. Like, hey, what are we doing? Right? May have been in a scenario where everybody was really conflicted on which quarterback to go with. Right? We're like, man, both these guys are great. What are we doing? Oh, shit. Like, you don't want to feel like you're too chummy to one of them because then the next one kind of looks at you and you're like, no, we're not besties. I'm besties with you. No, it's you. Like, it's fucking hard, man. And when you come out like Penix did and you play, like Jay said, super free and you fucking sling the ball, boy, that team is... I feel bad for him. I really do.
I don't.
Trade him. I do. Seattle, trade for him. Somebody trade for him. I need to see him out here this year.
Don't you think though? Is it possible they could trade Kirk after the first year?
I bet you they don't have I bet you Kirk put a no trade clause in there.
I bet you Kirk goes.
That hasn't been reported though.
I have been fucked with so much in this entire process. Everyone has lied to me. Yeah. The next decision will be made through me. And guess what?
I'd be hard pressed
there for 4 years.
I'd be hard pressed that he didn't put one in there.
4 fucking years he'll be there. And guess how many Penix is going to put up with? He's going to be like, this is stupid. What am I doing?
We'll see.
But dude, no, I'm not saying this will see. I'm telling you what's going to happen because this isn't a Jordan Love. You're stepping behind Aaron Rodgers. This guy won a Super Bowl. This is you're coming behind what some people say is the best quarterback. Some say is an okay to best quarterback. Like, this is a different scenario. I'm in my mind, I'm better than you. Why the fuck am I not starting? Money walks. Like, this whole thing is becoming an issue more and more. Like, and I said it months ago. The more he plays and the better he looks, the more this team's going to go, fuck, what did we just do? Because, yeah, you're paying one dude a fortune and you're paying this dude nothing, but you can't put the backup quarterback at receiver and do some bullshit plays more than 2 or 3 times a game. You're paying that dude a lot of fucking money and you're wasting his talent.
Yeah.
Doing
it's an all-time
nothing. It's an all-time
weird move, man.
Dude's going to be great, though.
Super weird.
Super excited about him. Like you said, hunting down the field. Rarely do I see that. I saw it with Caleb when he pulled back and then went for 20.
I think if he didn't have the injuries he had in college, he probably would have went top 3.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was the only knock.
You know what?
Was his age, and he had like 3 career season-ending surgeries, right? ACL, couple shoulders, right? Like, I think if he didn't have those knocks, he easily puts himself in contention for being one of the top 3 quarterbacks off the board this year. So he played like it. He went out and played like it in his first debut.
So to recap, judging entire careers off the first preseason game, Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix are the hits. Bo Nix and Drake Maye are the busts. We'll see what happens in their second preseason.
Steak and a beer on that Bo Nix, boys. Steak and a beer.
We'll see.
Okay. Boys, let's do a round of who's the mic, and then we can get to dumb football questions.
I got one.
Before we get to those mics, you guys asked for it. I don't have a graphic up here for it, but we do have steak and a beer T-shirts available now. Available, OLineCommittee.com. We are offering
with the bone.
With the bone. Yep.
Yeah, boy.
We're offering 15% off the entire store. Your offensive line lifestyle apparel. Code Trenches at checkout. Trenches at checkout. 15% off everything. OLineCommittee.com. Wait, so you won't eat a filet?
No.
Really?
No.
The steak has to have a bone in it.
I'll crush a filet.
Dude.
I won't. I'm not a child.
I'm not a child. I got a mic.
All right, Jay, hit us with the first mic.
My mic is the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow and that offense. I mean, so for the last, I think it's 3 years, they've never played starters in the preseason, ever. In the last 2 years, they've came out of the gates like hot garbage, right? And they've ended up battling their way back and putting themselves in. I know last year Joe got hurt, but this year, you watch that number 1 offense led by Joe Burrow march out onto that field, and they walked right down the field without Jamar Chase, right? I mean, whatever that I think it was like the fourth throw. I mean, Burrow went 5 for 7, right? I mean, and that one he dropped a dime to T. Higgins in the end zone that he just dropped. I mean, Joe Burrow looked like he's back. He looked good. Chase Brown looked like he was going to be the number 1 running back coming out of there. They ran some balls. They threw it. I think the Bengals playing starters in the preseason was a great move by Zach Taylor. Got to change some things up. Got to go. The Bengals are going to pick right back up where they left off when Joe Burrow's healthy.
Inject it in my fucking veins. I'm
it.
so excited. Everybody knows Burrow's my boy. He's my favorite. Fucking favorite. I am so excited. I could not agree more with you. I think that the North is going to be fucking vicious. It's going to be fucking. And Joe was like, you guys forgot about me. And everyone's like, Joe, we didn't forget about you. You just haven't done anything. So we haven't talked about you. And he was like, the fuck you haven't, bitch. And dude, I'm so excited.
Dude, the AFC North is going to be
who's the worst team in that division right now?
I was going to say the Steelers.
Is it the
Steelers? You have to say the Steelers. Yeah, it's going to be
just because they don't have
games every year.
They just don't have have the guy at quarterback. That's the only reason. Right, you could put all those defenses up against each other and be like, pick your poison.
If the Steelers get Ayuk next week, are they still the worst team in that division?
It's hard to say because
we don't know.
What Russell are you getting? Like, is it Justin Fields? Like, you can have all the weapons, but it's all predicated off your quarterback play. Right, Joe Burrow is going to be a stud. Deshaun Watson, question mark. Right, Deshaun's a question mark.
Huge.
But then you talk about you have Lamar Jackson and then Russell Wilson or Justin Fields.
You know what? I'm not going to say the Steelers are the worst. I might have to go with Cleveland because Deshaun is a huge question mark for me.
11
they won 11
with 4
games
quarterbacks.
Last year.
Their defense.
Stop.
All right. You're right.
I mean, when's Chubb coming back?
I will veto you.
I forget. Did he just get hurt though again?
Dude, he was squatting like 700 pounds with a kabuki bar.
Oh,
he was like, dude, did you just
say kabuki like you use a kabuki bar?
I do. It's not. It wasn't. It was the bamboo bar. It wasn't the kabuki bar. It was the bamboo bar. Right. It was the bamboo bar. I deadlifted the
lying about the kabuki bar?
I deadlifted the kabuki bar.
It's because he tried to say kabuki. No, I agree with you. Steelers are definitely worse. But I'll tell you what, that division's going to be. They're going to be ruthless with each other too, and they are. Like they always go after each other so violently, and it's so fun to watch. And that whole scenario is going to be great this year. I'm excited.
Yeah, I thought Mims looked really good on the O-line too. The first round tackle out of Georgia. I thought he played very, very, very well.
Is that your shout out this week?
I don't know yet. That's a great question. I didn't get one. That's on me. I forgot that was a segment. I got to do that.
I got one shout out.
I got one for us.
Let's say. Hold on. I didn't put it in the rundown. Let's make it an official segment in the rundown here.
The O-line
for this week going forward. We'll do it before dumb football.
Especially for preseason because I feel like it's great for young O-linemen. I have a guy that Jay, you and we recruited.
Okay.
Oh, we really wish we would have got this guy, and he looked really good this last week.
All right,
Booney, give us a mic. Who's your mic?
All right, here's my mic. You ready? This guy. This fucking guy. He fucked up. I mean, he did so bad. He asked for a trade. Right? Goes from the Eagles to the
Haason
Jets.
Reddick. Oh,
dude,
my God.
Dude, this is hilarious. Skips minicamp, and they're like, okay, we don't even know who you are, and you're not coming. What the fuck? Continues to hold out. Comes out, I think it was earlier today or yesterday, and goes, I want to trade. 30 minutes after he demands this trade, the New York Jets post an official statement, by the way. For them to post an official fucking statement,
Joey Douglas,
you got to be really fucking pissed. You got to be like, this comes from every person in this building, and if they don't agree to this, they're fucking fired. The statement said, we will not fucking trade you. You can show the fuck up to work, and we will talk about a new contract. Dude, I think this is hilarious. Haason Reddick, you have Le'Veon Bell'd yourself so bad. You have basically walked yourself into the end of your career because now this team is going to go, fuck this guy. He thinks he's just going to come to us and we're going to get rid of him for nothing. Like, they don't. This is a hard thing to understand. And anybody that's listening, that's playing, and I know there are some players that listen, don't be your worst enemy. Don't be the guy that shows up and fucks it all up because you got a badass attitude or you think you're too fucking tough to mop the floor. I'm going to warn you right now. I have had every job in that fucking building, and none of them were too fucking crazy. They are always meant for you at some point. And when you come in and start demanding things to people that sit in real fucking desks that are bolted to the ground, they turn around and they go, I don't think you know who you're speaking to. I know. because when I walked into that room and told them, they were like, I don't think you know who the fuck you're talking to. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I do. And they were like, no, you don't, dumb fuck. Now sit down. I was like, okay, I'll sit down right now. I'll just sit right here.
Reddick, by the way, he's missed 21 days of camp, which you're
getting fined for every one of those.
$1.7 million in fines.
Coming right now.
So real quick though, I don't disagree with anything you said, and you're looking at it from a player's perspective. I want to poke at the Jets for a second here too, though, because how do you trade a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick for a guy with 50 and a half sacks over 4 years, prime of his career, knowing that he wants a new contract, and then not have a contract offer for him?
No, I'm not doing this. Joe Douglas, I know Joe Douglas. The whole thing is worked differently in a trade. They go to both sides and they're like, hey, we're good with all this, right? Mm-hmm. Joe Douglas said, yes, you come in, you fucking play, we will give you the deal you want, but you got to
show us something first.
He said, you must perform. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all about dudes going out and saying, you just told me I got a green light to do whatever I want. You're going to give me $50 million a year? Yes. Woo! I'm going to start fights every day. I'm going to make you hate me. I'm going to make them hate me. I'm going to make everybody fucking hate me. Like, you just gave me the keys to the kingdom. Instead, this dude was like, no, I'm going to show up and you're going to pay me. The Jets even said this was not how this was arranged. And every trade has to be talked about like that. You can't just go in and one side be like, they're giving you an extension. The other side be like, we're not giving him an extension. There's no miscommunication on this. That's why this falls squarely on Haason. This is you being an idiot.
And his agent and his team.
You're being fucking stupid. And what I'm telling you right now, when a team puts their official statement out as we will not trade you, we will not pay you, you should show up and be like, hey, miscommunication. My bad.
I think it's gone too far, though.
I don't know, dude. Like, you better hope not, because then that's your carear.
Well, it's reaching to the point now where the Jets are going to be like, we're just going to toll your contract, right? And that is the kiss of death. Because here's what tolling means.
Oh,
right?
tell 'em.
Like, so tolling your contract basically means like, oh, you're not going to play this year? Okay, cool. Well, you don't get a credited season. You don't get an accrued season. And this contract is just going to be put in the corner over here. And as soon as you decide you want to play football again, guess who has your rights? We do. And we'll just activate that thing all over again. And guess what? It also doesn't count towards the how many years are left on your deal. Right? So if you toll this thing and you have 1 year left on your deal and you don't play this year and they toll your contract, guess what? When you decide to come play again, there's still 1 year left on your deal. Like, it's a terrible situation to be in a franchise that already has enough craziness going on.
And that was
now
my mic.
You add this onto it. Like,
right.
Robert Saleh is not sleeping at night. He's not happy. He's got a lot of stuff
This whole thing feels really rickety right now with the Jets.
It's not good.
That's my whole point in this whole mic is the Jets, dude. They are the ones that suffer the most in this because now you got a dude out here that's exposing the team, and the team is basically like, no, you're not going to expose us. We're working. But the problem is there's still guys answering those questions every fucking day about that guy, right? And eventually those guys are like, dude, I'm sick of answering the same question about this dude.
I've never
like,
even met him.
Like, I don't know this guy. Like, what you want me to say about him? Like, sure, dude, show up to work. Like, this is how you ruin a whole season.
Yeah, that's Quinn Williams. They're probably like, wait, what would it be like if Haason Reddick was here? We're like, I don't know, never met the guy. Like,
don't know
great.
It would be
awesome.
weird. It would be weird for him to just show up at this point.
I'm telling you, you would save so much more face in the rest of your career if you just walked in tomorrow and said, hey, I'm really sorry. I'll take my $1.7 million fine and I will walk away. I promise I'll start at the third team and I'll work my way to the first. You don't even have to acknowledge me as Haason. You can call me shitbag or fuckhead. I'm cool with either of those.
But when you've been fined almost $2 million, are you?
That's why I said you go back.
He's in so deep.
What's his career earnings?
You're not. You just go in like that. Right? Expect a lot of shit from the dudes for fucking 3, 4, 5, 8, 12 weeks. Right? They're gonna mess with you for a long time. And then you're gonna be a dude.
So he's made. Let's see here.
He's made $51.
51.1. Yeah,
$51.14 million. So I mean, like,
and his base is 14 this year.
Yeah, $2 million hurts, but if you're willing to die on that hill, then so be it. But the bigger problem comes once
you're not.
I mean, you have to
not
think that are we halfway through camp? So we're talking about another $2 million
coming.
Like we're like camp's not over. By any means.
By the way, when the weeks start, it goes up even more because when you miss seasonal weeks, because I remember when I was doing mine, they were like,
they'll just toll them.
they were like, dude, we need to talk. And that's how I learned about the tolling process. Was they're like, eventually, if you don't show up, they're going to toll this. And I go, what's that mean? He goes, we're really fucked. I go, oh, shit. Like, holding out is a very dangerous thing because you're like, there's only one possible scenario that I come out okay on this. And there's like 13 million that they win. It was almost, I was watching the Infinity War the other day, laid up with my kids. And remember when Doctor Strange is going through like the 13 million? He's like, just one. That's a holdout. And so you are fucking clenched tight. But when I'm telling you, Haason, when former players who have held out tell you you are fucking this up, I'm just trying to be a friend, but especially because we were teammates together. Go back, apologize, go get 15 sacks and watch them be like, okay, here's your new fucking deal. Are you happy now? Like, dude, that's another thing.
But
like,
he's a free agent after the year anyway.
But here's what I would do. If he had a great camp, there's a chance they extend him before the year starts.
That's the whole point.
Like,
that's what I think the stuff they wanted.
When you draw a line in the sand like this and you're like, I'm not showing up, you're not paying me, I don't really understand where the negotiation even really begins.
Well, could I also argue that he's a free agent at the end of the year? Just go play your ass off for 1 year and then
somebody else will pay you.
Let the open market give you your money, right?
Unless you want to be dead set on this going to this one team, which I mean would be a weird situation where it's like, you could play for the
really
Jets.
Be here right
only
now.
the Jets.
Dude, this is really weird. You could have just played literally 18 games and made a whole fucking different set of money. Like when you're asking for an extension, you're asking for like, sure, I'm going to get close to the bar. When you hit free agency, you're resetting the bar. You are the guy that's going above those numbers. That's why I'm looking at this whole scenario like, I would have just stayed with Philly and fucking balled out there and hit free agency. Why am I asking to be traded and now I'm asking to be traded again? It's too much, man. You're a football player.
You ain't getting traded, bud. It ain't happening.
You definitely ain't getting traded.
It ain't happening.
Woody Johnson? You think Woody's going to be like, sure, we'll carve on this guy. Let him go. Because how many more other players are going to go, you know what? I don't like this place.
And also, what team right now is going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll take that headache. Right? Like, yeah, sign me up. I'll send you a third.
You want 38 million?
And it ain't gonna be for a third, right? Like the Jets are gonna take a bath on this. Like if they decide to, like, and that's why they won't do it, because some teams are like, I'll send you a sixth and a conditional, right? Like,
and then they've just lost out on 3 rounds of value for nothing.
Yeah, and they're like, no chance, dude.
Listen, we just got a new set of tablets. We'll give you our old set.
Okay, clubs. Last mic. I'll give you guys one here. Daniel Jones' new beard is my mic.
Stop it,
dude. He's looking
Daniel Jones,
good.
man.
I'm not even. Dude,
he goes from he used to look like sort of like boyish Daniel Radcliffe, and now he looks like Hugh Jackman on steroids.
Dude, I'm telling you,
just a little facial hair, man.
A little facial hair makes a ton. Ask Josh Allen. Right, Josh Allen, when he came into the league, he looked like a little baby face, grew a nice little beard. All of a sudden, he's dating some supermodel. Like, I mean, beard goes a long way. Listen, if I shaved my beard off, I'd look like I was 8 years old. It's a fact. I got big old fat chubby cheeks, big old fat neck. I did it one time. My wife was like, don't ever do that again. I was like, got it. Sounds good. Yeah. Right? But yeah, Daniel Jones' aura is high. As the kids would say, his Riz, I believe, is the correct term. Yeah. Where's Johnny at? Johnny would know.
Don't ever say Riz.
Where's Johnny? Johnny said, I think he called himself the Risley Bear at one point. So, Daniel Jones.
Call me the Risley Bear.
Yeah, they call me the Risley Bear. So, I'm going to say this. Daniel Jones is the Risley Bear in New York right now.
Wow, dude. That beard changing his career and his life in front of our eyes right now.
All right, I'll do you one better. It's not only the beard, but how about Dayball with the weight loss? Dude, yes. I think he looks fucking incredible.
Okay,
I think he looks scarier, thinner.
Let me Google him.
Question. Did he go on Ozempic?
Oh, for
100%. 100%.
Everybody goes on Ozempic, dude. I'm almost upset of how many people have had to use Ozempic.
Dude, I'm almost upset the fact that I'm not using Ozempic. I mean, it's just like, it's like a cheat code, dude.
Oh, yeah, cheat codes have problems later in life. Be careful with those.
We're dead by 60 anyways.
Yeah, 60. I'm love to get to 60.
I love food way too much.
I know, I do too. But no, Dayball looks great. I mean, I remember in Buffalo. So this is the second time he's lost all this weight, because in Buffalo in 2018, Matt Barkley and Josh Allen bet him that if he lost like, I think it was like 50 or 60 pounds, they would buy him a Peloton, and he did it. And but the problem was, as soon as he did it, he was like, I don't want a Peloton. He like immediately packed it all back on. And I think he sold the Peloton. Like, like he just did it to like prove them wrong. But no, Dable looks great, dude. He's got fresh cut. He's walking around. Yeah.
New looks in New York, dude. I'm excited.
A lot of Riz going on for the Giants right now.
Lot of Riz.
O-line shoutouts before dumb football questions.
O-line
shoutouts.
Here we go. All right, listen, I was watching the game this week, and our superstar JJ was going buck wild, and this offensive lineman jumped out to me. And this was a guy that we had tried to get at Stanford, and this was a guy that we had tried to get when he went to Oklahoma. Walter Rouse.
Yeah.
Looks really fucking good.
He's
and
a monster.
we had watched his tape in
Walter.
Stanford.
Love
And
Walter.
when you sit down and talk with him, you're like, this kid is special. He is an awesome person, very intellectually smart, gets the game of football at a different level. Like, we had some really fun conversations with him. But I was watching his tape this week, and it was actually his block that sprung the first big run in the game. And it was him all by himself. And he just basically money blocked this dude and fucking took him 5 yards off the ball. And I was like, dude, that is a rookie right there showing up in the moment. Because as a coach, I'm watching this going, who on this play is standing out? Walter is. And then you watch him in pro, and he's just so fucking big. Like, having too many tackles on your team is always a good problem. Because you can always start to move some guys in. You can always have guys extra. Like, being able to play tackle in the NFL is so much harder than it is guard. So to be able to come out and look as good as he did, I was really, really excited about him. Shout out to that whole line. They looked really good. And I actually saw Chris Cooper as I was coming out of the Omni Suites from my surgery. They were just getting ready to get on the bus to go to the hotel. And I was like, Coop, come here. He walks over and he's like, what are you doing, dude? I was like, dude, check it out. He's got a total knee. And I show him the whole like fucking scar. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, hey, man, good luck tomorrow. His O-line put out, man. Shout out Chris Cooper, Walter Rouse. Awesome.
Michael Juergens,
was
man.
the center.
Second string center right now.
Dude, from Wake Forest,
kid.
another kid I tried to get. Dude, great players. Super excited about this team.
Love it.
I'm gonna. I mean, this might be a shameless plug. I'm gonna shout out my guy Jalen Sundell for the Seahawks.
Sorry.
So Jalen,
question.
So Jalen, he's a guy out of North Dakota State. He had a combine invite, was supposed to go, had an injury thing happen, ended up not getting drafted, not even signed after the draft. Battled his ass off all off season by himself, training, getting right. Got an opportunity, worked out for the Seattle Seahawks a day before training camp started.
A day before.
They sign him. He's got him out there. He's out there. He had 25 snaps last week. They end up signing Connor Williams, excuse me. They end up signing Connor Williams off the street.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They then trade Nick Harris, who they signed a $1 million deal with this offseason to come in and compete with Olu Atami, the 5th-round pick. They trade him to Cleveland. So now my guy's in there running with the threes after being in the building for 13 days, 14 days, and played phenomenally. That's a shout out. I know he's a client, but that's a shout out to that guy because that dude has been through so much, so proud of him, and there's a lot of good stuff coming out of the news in Seattle.
There are worse places to live than Renton and Washington, man.
Oh, dude.
Beautiful.
Been there.
Water, outdoors,
That's
mountains.
my guy. That's my guy. He's out there with Garrett Greenfield, too, who's doing a nice job on South Dakota State. He's a fan of the show. Appreciate you, Garrett. Right? Like, again, another guy we would have loved to sign and work with, too. But, those guys out there, watching those two guys together, FCS boys, Missouri Valley boys doing their thing, they did a really nice job this weekend.
So I just want everyone to know that the offensive line shout out should be for guys that are more unnamed, right? Like, obviously, we all know the top offensive linemen that went in the draft. And we expect those guys to
Williams,
fucking, right?
get
like,
your money,
dude,
guy.
I'm not going to fucking
Nice
shout
job,
out
Darren
Joe
Saul.
and
Great.
JC and Olu. Like, you guys are expected to play at a higher level. But Jay's right. When I was watching Jalen's film, there was a play that he got called for being downfield on an RPO.
Because he blew the 3 technique 5 yards off the ball.
He murdered this fucking 3 tech. I was texting him immediately like, oh my God, I'm so proud you just got called for downfield. You're fucking this dude up. I was like, dude, he came out and just like Jay said, there's times and opportunities for young offensive linemen to come out there and put out what you can do. Jalen did such a great job going into a situation where he was probably like, man, there's a lot of dudes in the room, but we had coached him, dude, don't ever count the room, right? Like what you do out on the field will determine the numbers. He was a great example of that this last week. Looked fucking amazing. So excited for him up there in Seattle.
Love it, dude. O-line shoutouts, new segment, born here on the O-line committee. Let's do 10 or 12 minutes of dumb football questions.
Hit me.
because we got to get to a couple film breakdowns in our recording window here. But yeah, you guys, the audience, you send us awesome questions every week. So keep them coming in the YouTube comment section. And if you haven't already, if you're an hour into this thing and you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, take this opportunity to click that subscribe button and the like button as we continue our journey to 25,000 subs, hopefully, in another football season. So Quiffle Ball chimes in and says, how do agents, teams, and players pick out which reporters to give scoops to? Whenever there's a big national story, it always seems like there's reports that are maybe conflicting, where at least one outlet got something wrong, or there's conflicting information. How can we as consumers sort out what's fact and what's bogus in football? That's kind of two different questions. Who gets the easy answer, and then what's true and what's not?
The easy answer is you'll never know what's true.
You'll never know anything.
You'll never know what's true because as an agent, right, you want to create really good relationships with the people in the media around your team because they can feed you information of, hey, what's going on at practice, right? Like, hey, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? Right. And then at the same time, then you start to be able to find out, okay, who can I trust? Who can I like actually see, hey, are you telling me the truth? Are you actually feeding me right information? And I'm doing that as an agent, but guess what? The people inside the building are doing that as well with the other guys, right? They have guys that they trust because they want to make sure that, hey, here's your source. Or I know guys that pay people money, right? I know there's media guys that'll pay people money that'll be considered their source, but like, I'll never tell, right? I will take this to my grave and I'll die, right?
Wow.
Bullet to the head.
That's
like,
wild.
I know that's a fact. And that's how you hear from stuff inside the building, right? Like, source inside the building told me XYZ.
You know who it is right away? The mole?
Yeah. There's
one.
always a mole. Right. But majority of the time is you find people you trust and you use them because they love information, right? You're in the media world, Mackey. Like, you guys live for information. Right?
I don't like, there's like I used to be a reporter. I'm now more just
when you were a reporter,
an
like,
opinionist.
When you were a reporter, though, like any type of information that you can get on top of the other guys, like that's gold, right? And so as an agent, you use that a little bit to your advantage of like, hey, what do I want to leak out there? That's not going to hurt my client. That's not going to hurt the team, but maybe create a little buzz. Or, hey, who do I want to get on to? Hey, this guy's writing some really false reports about my player. Like, how do I educate this person? Right? How do I have a conversation? Like, hey, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? And let's talk about it. And I've actually done that with a couple guys. Like, let's watch some film and tell me why you think this is what's happening. Right? So that goes there. And then the big piece is, why do you release stuff? It's always a self-serving thing. Like, it's never like, hey, do you want a buddy?
Information get out there?
Yeah, why? It's always self-serving, right? It's, hey, they're close on a deal, right? Like, hey, we're close on a deal. Oh, okay, sweet. And then that gets out, and so then the fans are like, woo, he's close on a deal, right? And then someone in the building's like, fuck, no, we're not. Hey, we're miles apart.
It's a fluid
we're
situation.
Miles apart. It's and then source inside the building says that they're miles apart.
Dude, Brandon Ayuk, agent, right?
100%.
Oh, all these, it's a bidding war. Look at all these teams. You better get in. Hey, Browns over here.
All lies.
On the media side too, and I, just again, I don't work as a reporter anymore, but I have enough friends in the industry, national reporter friends. When you get to a certain level and you're a national NFL insider or whatever sport you cover, you now trade in information. You become super valuable. Like, just as an example, Adam Schefter is super valuable to other teams looking for information. So once you get to that level where you might know something about this team over here or this situation, and another team says, hey, what are you hearing about that? Oh, I'll tell you. You got to float me a little something.
What do you got?
You're
scratch my
like,
back, I scratch yours.
You're literally in the middle of an information freeway, and you're at an intersection where you're just trading, something from the Eagles for something over here to the Jets.
So it's funny you guys brought this up because I was thinking about this the other day. Remember in the Hunger Games when Ficken says to her that the world is really bought on secrets? That's the NFL. The NFL is not about money. And if you think it is, you're stupid. The more you know, the more they'll keep bringing you deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in. And the more they'll give you, the more money. Like, it's funny how the secrets end up becoming the money of all this. And you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden you have these relationships with these coaches where they can lean on you at times. Like Jay said, with these reporters, there's a lot of people in the building that are there for the coaches to be like, I need to lean on you. You need to start telling me everything. You're the mole to my team. And you're like, I'm not a snitch though, right? Like, no, you're definitely not a snitch. But if something goes haywire and we don't know about it, this could fuck us all up. And you're like, It's a good point, right? Like all of a sudden these things become important. I think one of the biggest things, and this is the hardest thing to understand, is the trust in the NFL, right? Like people don't trust us because by now they know we're always lying to them. Everything was a great game until it was our fault. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's my fault. I got to fix it, right? Like there's certain people that you can go to and you can get information from because they're just so emotional. And at times that was me. Like you just be like, what do you think about that pick? And you'd be like, motherfucker, threw the goddamn wrong route. You just go crazy, right? That's why at times they'd be like, Boone, shut up, go in the shower, go do this. Like people are quick to be like, you want a snack? Are you hungry? Oh yeah, food. I come back, the media was gone. But dude, there's times too where they'll come and be like, hey, this is getting leaked. We need it to go this way. It's going this way now. I need you to divert it this way. Any way you can. And you'd come out and just fucking start whatever. I mean, I remember times where I'd be walking out of a room from one of probably the biggest team fights, and the people would be like right into a microphone. How's the team? We're great. We love each other. We all love each other. Turn around, everyone's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you later. I'm gonna fucking kill you. You're like,
but that you got to keep it in house though, right?
Everything. And sometimes it's hard because you're like, I just want to tell everybody these secrets, but I can't. And if I do, it's gonna dude, it's a lot. It's a lot at times because you're like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's just one quick. I had when I covered baseball like 15 years ago, I had a veteran in a clubhouse one time, and I was like, probably 3 years in covering the beat, so I was trusted enough. And he pulled me aside and he told me about some of the young players that were skirting dress code and just that there was like an issue with young players not taking it seriously. And I said, why are you telling me this? He goes, because I want that shit out there. I want, they need to know that this is what people think of them. And so that happens all the time in the NFL too, where someone wants something out there and the only way to do it is to find a reporter. Just happened with
Caleb Williams. Remember when the dude came out and was like, I'm sick of this motherfucker telling us how to clean shit up. That's an extreme blow up right there. Something that could have been handled inside. People would have no idea, but instead now everyone's kind of like, what side do I sit on? I know they do want my shit to be clean, but you are a rookie. Like, it's like, man, fuck, right? Like as a teammate, you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
why did somebody have to say this? Right.
You're like, yeah, he's right. We should definitely clean this up, but like,
why is he
to tell me what to do?
Right, that's the whole point. Like, now all of a sudden the team is in this silly petty fight, and everyone's kind of like, "Fuck."
There's one vet. There's one vet that's like peeing in his locker. It's like, we'll see who's gonna clean what up, Rook. Like,
that's a bottle of my piss.
Some salty vet just sitting there, just pissing in a bottle, leaving it up in the locker. Like,
you clean
it up.
Yeah, it's hilarious. All right, we do have to get going here behind the scenes because we have two film breakdowns.
Film is back.
Break it down.
Dumb football questions. Booney's knee is replaced. He's alive.
He's surviving, not thriving.
I'll be thriving in a week. All right, I promise.
Okay. Steak and a beer on that?
Steak and a beer that I will be ready by next Tuesday.
Okay.
We'll define ready.
We'll get some parameters on this bet.
It's the OLine committee. See you guys.